What's going on, guys? My name is Eldeniro and welcome to episode 102 of my Manchester United career mode on FIFA 15. We're starting this episode off with a little look at the league table just to show you guys how well we've been progressing in the league, or on the domestic front especially. I guess their performances in Europe have not really been that great, but if we could keep up this kind of league form consistently, I think we would do really well and we would eventually go on to win the league. Obviously the board wants us to win the treble, and that is kind of a ridiculous ask for somebody in their first season with a club who has struggled to finish anywhere near the top four in the previous years in this actual save. But what are you going to do? You know, we're going to have to go for the treble and do our best to actually get that. We're playing against Sheffield Wednesday in this match in the Capital One Cup, and as you can see, we're going with the 4-1-2-1-2 formation and a completely different team, a completely different starting 11, just to see how it would go. But in the last episode, I asked you guys what your favourite song on the FIFA soundtrack is, and we got some amazing responses to that. But a guy called AdoCFC actually suggested a question for this episode for you guys, and he says, what song do you think should be added into the next FIFA game? And I'd love to see you guys answer that in the comment section as well, because there's definitely a lot of diversity in the comment section in terms of your guys' taste. For me, I would go with a completely unbiased opinion and say Honest by Codeline. I'd love to see that song on FIFA 15, or on FIFA 16 rather. Like, it's one of those things where the Premier League always use, or the Premier League have in the past used High Hopes and a couple of Codeline songs, doing like montages and stuff. So there is some sort of connection there, and I just think Honest would be a good song considering they're going down that sort of route with the soundtracks. At least I feel that way anyway. But what are you going to do? In the 66th minute of this game, Sheffield Wednesday had a header that went just wide of the post as they came on the attack looking for an equaliser in the game. But we got a free kick in the 70th minute due to a foul from Koke, I think it was, on Rojo. And I don't even think this was actually a foul. I thought it was a pretty good tackle, but Dybala stepped up from the free kick with his left foot and he finds the back of the net superbly to make it 2-0 to us, and surely at this point put the game beyond all doubt, as our defence had yet to cave in this game, and Sheffield Wednesday weren't, even though they're actually playing well, our defence is playing really well. But what are you going to do? You're 2-0 up after 71 minutes and you're Manchester United. But we got a corner kick in the 77th minute, thanks to Timo Huppert's winning it, and it was taken by Signorini, who swings it in towards Johnny Evans, who goes up and finds the back of the net. Johnny Evans had an interesting game. He got booked, obviously. He scored a goal. He ended up with the captain's armband towards the end, and he even played in the centre of defensive midfield for 1 point as well, just because I wanted to bring on a couple of other players. But Dybala in the 83rd minute misses an open goal. I don't know why. I knew he was left-footed as well. I should have Ronaldo chopped it and finessed it, but what are you going to do? In the 84th minute of the game, the ball comes to James Wilson, who comes forward as he came on as a second-half substitute. He does well to get round the Sheffield Wednesday defence and goes for the finesse shot with his left foot, but it's palmed onto the crossbar by the goalkeeper and cleared away by the Wednesday defence. Kind of unlucky for Wilson, but in the 95th minute, Sheffield Wednesday came forward, and if this looks like bad defending, I was playing on ultra-attacking, and I have no idea why. I only changed to ultra-attacking after being 3-0 up as well. I just wanted to make it a higher scoring game, I guess. I wanted players like James Wilson and that just to get more goals, but we were punished for that type of offence in the 90th minute as May came forward and he ended up pulling a goal back for the home team, but it mattered not. We still win 3-1. That's the first goal we've conceded in domestic competition all season, but it doesn't really matter at all. It's one of those tournaments I don't even ever care about, as the Capital One Cup. But our next game is against QPR. This is back in the Premier League and we welcome them to Old Trafford. They have a -3 goal difference and just 4 points from their previous 5 games, whereas we have a perfect 100% record with 5 wins from 5 games. And our back line, Rafael Varane, Chris Smalling and Luke Shaw, obviously the best defence in the league at the moment. But I went with Di Maria and Schürrle on the wings, and obviously as Villalba misses this game, it's Rooney and Javier Hernandez up front, which I thought was actually a pretty good team. Like, Schürrle's really good. QPR's team hasn't really changed an awful lot, although their striker McKennock, or whatever his name is actually really good. But in the second minute, an amazing pass through from, I believe it was Rafael Varane, sees Wayne Rooney's volley palmed away by the QPR goalkeeper, but we wanted to keep the chance alive, and Ander Herrera plays the ball into Javier Hernandez, who has a look up, evades a slide tackle, not really at all, because the guy actually wins the slide tackle, but Wayne Rooney's shot going just over the crossbar from distance. But it kind of signalled the intent of Wayne Rooney that I wanted to get Wayne Rooney a couple more goals. Like, I want to just sort of learn what his strengths are and things like that, because he's been quite good for assists so far, but I'd like him to score some goals from open play. And in the 25th minute, Wayne Rooney coming forward in ahead of Anderson. He goes for the left-footed finesse shot this time. I didn't mean for it to be as tame a shot as that, but that's how the goalkeeper reacted to it. He just kind of calmly palmed it away and it didn't matter. Then in the 31st minute, McKenna came forward and actually managed to put QPR into the lead, scoring the first goal that we've conceded all season, which is good for you guys because now I'm not going to talk about that record anymore because I'm so ridiculously proud of it. But that was really... that came out of nowhere, and Leroy Fer in the 41st minute hits QPR's second shot of the entire game. So they had just 2 shots at this point, and as you saw from the highlights in the opening half, we were pretty dominant. But Andre Schürrle comes forward in the 48th minute. He does really well to create a chance for Wayne Rooney, who amazingly does not score from there, although he does hit the target and sees the shot saved by the keeper. Then we come up to the 55th minute of the game with Wayne Rooney taking on Diakite in midfield and doing really well to beat him before he approaches Onuaha, the fastest defender in the game, and gets around him as well before getting into a shooting position. And once again we are awarded a penalty at Old Trafford. This time, to be fair, that is absolutely a penalty, like there's no doubt about it. He definitely pulled Wayne Rooney back at a crucial moment. It actually should have been a card as well. There's no way he should have gotten away scot-free with that when Wayne Rooney was about to open fire and basically score. But what are you going to do? He stepped up from the penalty with Javier Hernandez to take it, and he stepped up against Murphy and managed to find the back of the net with a calmly placed penalty into the right hand side of the net. And on the hour mark we were level, but QPR came forward immediately after with the ball coming through to Matt Phillips, who takes on Raphael Varane with a terrible attempt of a clearance there, and the ball comes to Adel Tarabt, who was linked with Manchester United about 4 years ago in real life, which looking back on it seems pretty crazy, but what are you going to do? Adel Tarabt giving QPR the lead and restoring their 1-goal advantage in the game, which was incredibly upsetting for me. Then in the 68th minute we came forward with Chalobah from distance going for the shot, which was quite close actually to Murphy's to the back of Murphy's net, in all honesty. But in the 72nd minute we came forward again, this time Andre Schürrle playing the ball into Luke Shaw down the left hand side. He plays it into Javier Hernandez, who finds Wayne Rooney, who sees his shot saved once more in this game by Murphy, who has been equal to pretty much everything Wayne Rooney has thrown at him. But Schürrle picks the ball up in the final 10 minutes of the game, and he approaches the goal, or he approaches the byline and then goes towards the goal, taking on the entire QPR defence and doing incredibly well to finish that into the back of the net and equalise, level the game up for us and make it 2-2. And from there I was so sure that we would push on and get the winner, but bizarrely we only got a point against QPR at home, having had such good form before that with victories against Arsenal, Manchester City and Tottenham, but and Leicester as well, the fucking champions. It's just ridiculous. Sometimes this game is weird. But we go into our next game, and it is away from home against Olympiacos in Greece. This is how our group table looks. Obviously we lost our first game against Lyon, which is not good at all, but we've got a bad record in Champions League group fixtures, I guess. Even though in this series so far, every single time we've been in the Champions League, we have progressed from the groups, but I think it's fair to say that we start very slowly in the group stages, and considering I'm still not comfortable with my starting 11 and being able to transition that starting 11 from the league into the cups, I'm just not sure how to operate it really. And I went with a strange formation here. It's the default Man United formation where there's no wingers, so I'm kind of treating these games as just experimental moments where I can just explore new tactics and just experiment a little bit with the formations. But that was obviously not working out very well, as Gazarian scored in the 29th minute for Olympiacos and gave them a kind of a shock lead in a very dull game leading up to that point. I swear to God, I just cannot play without wingers. It's ridiculous. I changed my formation immediately after, as you can see from Signorini being wide on the left hand side here. He plays it into Roberto Soldado, who finds Di Maria in a really good position, who does so well to create that chance for Dybala, and Dybala equalises just 3 minutes after we went the goal down. And that was just, I thought that was a fantastic goal made in Argentina as well between Di Maria and Dybala. But the ball comes to Rojo in the 71st minute, another Argentinian in our team, and he gets into a position to cross it, but he does really well to hold the ball up and play it back into Alberto Jordan, who finds Wayne Rooney on the edge of the area. He plays it to Huppertz, and this sort of display of passing on the edge of the area is something that I wanted to achieve with Leicester, and I never really felt like I did. I never felt like I had the player for it, but the move was rounded off incredibly by Javier Hernandez in the 73rd minute, as he puts an amazing goal into the game to make it 2-1 to us and put us into the lead, which was pretty good. Then in the 76th minute, Olympiacos came forward with Mitroglu's header being saved and Maniatis unable to do anything from the rebound, but the goal kick went straight to Mitroglu once again, who played it into Dos Sevi, who found Benitez in the middle and Benitez's volley went just wide of the left-hand side of De Gea's net. But in the 85th minute, they came forward once more with Dosevi on the ball. He has a look up and plays it into Maniatis, who's in a fairly advanced position, looking for any kind of an option around him. He plays it to a guy with a really long name, who plays it into another guy with a really long name, who finds Maniatis, who finds Mitroglou, who eventually gets his goal. And in the 87th minute of the game, Olympiacos did manage to get a late equaliser and eventually hang on to claim a point against us, which was it's frustrating. But like I said in the previous episode, we have got sort of previous records, and we just have history that says it's likely that we're not going to do very well in the group, but we'll still probably top it, which is a complete paradox. But what are you going to do about it? Elsewhere, Leicester City beat Lokomotiv 2-0, which is pretty good for them. But that is the end of this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do leave a like. That would be much appreciated. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.